Are you ready?
Yeah, let's do this, man.
All right.
Wow.
You found out who the fucks were?
Yeah, we came across this, the Comics Pals.
They seem
And,
to be white knights for Captain Marvel and Glenn's and Gail Simone, which right there they need two in the back of the head, like Paul Potts said.
yeah, it just,
Has Marvel fumbled Captain Marvel?
we decided to check it out. Yeah, it says, what went wrong with Captain Marvel? And has Marvel fumbled Captain Marvel? And we wanted to see what they had to say about that.
And they would eat the corn. They would eat the corn out of Gail Simone's shit.
Oh,
These
dude.
people are such white knights for this fucking feminist cow, and her avatar, Captain Marvel, aka an incarnation of Carol Danvers, which I don't even think is the real Carol Danvers. It doesn't even seem like it, the real one or the original one.
Yeah. I have to say, I have not personally read any of the Captain Marvel stories contemporary in the comics.
The Gail Simone era, where
I haven't read comics in years.
The bitch that said, if you don't like my politics, you don't have to read my comic books. Well, that's why nobody's reading your comic books. That's why they keep rebooting the fucking thing, because, it's going to work this time. No, a lesbian like Gail Simone did what she accomplished. She killed the title like they try to kill the species by not having more children. There, I said it.
And it's not good business to alienate your audience.
Well, sure it is.
You don't like my politics, don't read my books. And it's that is discouraging people from
even picking
exposing themselves to your work.
Yeah. And if you're such a high enlightened fucking liberal, then you should want to get your word out.
Really? You would want everybody who in there
and if it can,
whether they agree with your politics or not, you would still want them to read it.
And if your ideas can pass muster or scrutiny, what's the problem with them? Are you so afraid that somebody might find that they're wrong?
Or, disagree with them and call you out on it.
And you can't handle it? You don't have an answer?
Then you have to defend yourself or whatever. You don't have to defend anything. All you have to do is just say, hey, look, it's the story that I wrote. And if you don't like it, I'm sorry you didn't like it, but
this is where the character is.
This is what it was, and
are we internet?
No apology for it. Be proud of your work, but
are we
don't discourage people from?
Are we internet like what they said people are that disagree with them? We're internet trolls or whatever the fuck they were.
The chuds.
Yeah,
that's the term they used. Chuds.
Fucking mongoloids, anyway.
Whatever, man. They're the fucking chuds. But no, man.
And he's a lifelong liberal. So
and I'm gonna say, yeah. And I mean, I'm gonna say this about the whole thing is that yes, Marvel did fumble Captain Marvel, both in the comics and in the MCU. And I was so disappointed in the Captain Marvel movie. I was looking so forward to it. I loved Carol Danvers. Carol Danvers was the shit, man. She goes all the way back to 1968. I grew up with Carol in different comics and different forms, and I still have my copy of Ms. Marvel #1 when it hit the newsstand. I bought it I bought it when it came out. It was a new #1, and it was a new hero, and it was Carol. And Ms. Marvel was the shit, man.
So did she finally gain powers from Captain Marvel when he stripped her?
No, there was.
She got the powers.
It was an explosion.
She stole it again. She stole it again from a man. They needed a man to get the power. No wonder these guys don't want to fuck nobody, because they want to keep their chi and vril and prana away from these fucking succubus women. Anyway,
yeah.
There. How's that? Choke on that one, fatheads.
But no, it was an explosion, very much like what was in the movie. But it was the original, Captain Marvel, and somehow it fused some of his DNA with hers and gave her the powers, and so and that was way back
in issue 18 of Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel #18, yes, and then she kind of disappeared for a while, fell off the face of things for didn't have many stories about her with the powers until she made this dramatic reappearance as Ms. Marvel.
But Lady Death,
and her origin was the flashback to that original origin.
Not Lady Death, but the Death first appeared in in her version of Captain Marvel in the 70s.
Yeah,
I have that book.
Yeah, and she started out with that outfit is very, very, very similar to the Captain Marvel Kree, lines and style and colors, and then eventually changed it into that black one piece thing with the thigh high boots and the gloves
And America really fell in love with her.
and the sash
And fine as frog hair. And Brie Larson is not fine as frog hair.
No, really, man.
Brie Larson is a frog.
Carol was fine, man. And I give a fuck what you think. She had fine as frog hair in that thing. And yeah, you ever see hair on a frog, man? Yeah, it's pretty fucking fine. So
so you're just a misogynist then, huh?
Yeah,
well, because the White Knights for Carol and Glenn Simone wouldn't like you.
Well, I probably wouldn't like them very much either.
You seem not to, watching the video.
Fuck you and your politics, for one.
I
mean, there are people out there. Roger Waters is one of the most politically active artists in the world, and people just hate his politics. They think he's anti-Semitic. He's this, that, and the other, especially when it comes to the Middle East and all this shit. And he's very outspoken about it. Personally, it's not in his music. It's not there. I mean, Amused to Death was the closest you get, but even that, with the songs about Tiananmen Square and stuff like that. But I mean, it's not like what we see in he doesn't go around saying, you don't like my politics, don't buy my records.
Yeah.
Because my records and my politics are two different things, and people are all the time saying, "No, yeah, you love your music, stay out of the politics," So yeah, don't listen to him if you don't like his politics, but listen, enjoy his music for what it is. Just like, and it should be like that in the comics and any art, anywhere. You want to tell us a story? There's been stories that deal, comics have dealt with social issues forever. Decades.
Speedy getting on the crack cocaine or the heroin, yeah.
Yeah, and
through his CIA handler.
Tony Stark's bout with alcoholism.
Yeah.
And I mean, the Green Lantern, Green Arrow was all about them tackling social issues. Every issue of that book was, wife beaters, child molesters, drug addicts. It was not about fighting superheroes. It was about addressing social issues, and it was done really. I mean, that's what it was. You don't like it, don't buy it. But it was not. It was just a more unbiased look at these social issues through the superheroes and their experience with it. The Falcons 4-issue miniseries, the solo one in the '80s that he had. About him in the inner city dealing with at-risk children. I mean, comics have always been there doing that. And what they're doing now with this self-inserting, stupid fucking messaging and all the bullshit, it's beating you over the head with things that make your stories unenjoyable and you just it's just fucking comic book superheroes, man.
They don't want it. They don't want
an escape.
They don't want a safe space or an escape for anybody to anything. They want it drummed in. No wonder communism never worked. I can't believe how many times you said, "What the fuck are they talking about?" when we were watching that video.
Right.
Because they're just verbal diarrhea.
Either I'm just too old and not in that.
No, they're shills. They are shills. They're total shills.
I mean, they gotta be, man, because they were praising Marvels.
Yeah.
And Marvel's, no, it was not.
You went and saw it.
I did. And I tell you, I'm the best part of the movie was Kamala Khan, man. That little girl is something about her. She's infectious, and she is a real fangirl. And I mean, dressed as Ms. Marvel when she was 12 years old for Halloween.
To work.
And now she gets to play it, and she's stoked, and you can see it in her. It shows, and I'm not crazy about the way they're doing Monica Rambeau. Nope. Monica was the shit too, man.
Monica was Captain Marvel before Brie Larson was Captain Marvel.
Yes, and that was a dig at her old police force.
Yeah,
because she was passed over on a promotion to captain for somebody that she felt was less qualified, and a man and white. But I mean, they didn't emphasize that. It was that he was less qualified than she was, and she was a black woman and.
With a great afro
and so
and a solid gold dancer outfit.
Oh, dude, she
from the '70s, just fuck.
She, yeah, I mean, and was at one point the leader of the Avengers.
Right?
for a time.
Well, that's when they went on
That's who Monica is, man. I mean, qualified to lead the Avengers and respected enough that they will follow her.
Yeah, she ain't
I
playing no
mean,
second fiddle to some fucking white liberal fucking bitch. Oh,
right.
Brie Larson.
No, and she really had nothing to do with Ms. Marvel, Captain Marvel, or anything like that.
She had light powers.
No,
Wasn't that what it was?
yeah, she could see all the different kinds of light and manipulate light and become light herself. And she was Spectrum at one point.
Yeah.
And she called herself Captain Marvel because she got the powers, and she promoted herself to Captain.
There you go.
And that was the original origin there. That's why she was in the WandaVision. She was already a captain, and part of the Sword organization, and it was different. But that was our introduction to her in the MCU, and I mean, even Tiana Paris, who plays it, she was like stoked when she heard, "I'm going to get to play Monica Rambeau. Are you kidding me?" Because when they read her for it, the names were not given on the script, but she was reading it and she's going, "What if this is Monica Rambeau? It sure seems like it might be. Oh my God." Then she got the call and said, "Yeah, it's you and it's going to be Monica." And she was like, "Oh my God, yay. We need people like that playing these roles. But they also need to be well treated in the production." I mean, it's a bummer.
Need to be CBA accurate.
No, well, yeah, and I mean, you look at what they've done with so many of the great characters that they're portrayed faithfully and consistently, and those are the ones that people flock to.
Yeah.
And what they've been doing lately has been so far removed from its original source material that there's almost no resemblance.
Yeah.
And it's like I said, man, the Captain Marvel movie was so disappointing, man, because it just was. It wrote off everything Carol ever was before she donned the Captain Marvel moniker. Yeah, and I don't even think it's being written and portrayed as like the same person, the same gal that was it was called once the most liberated woman in the Marvel universe.
Wasn't she part of the Freedom Force or the?
Oh yeah, the Femme Force or whatever? Yeah,
no, Femme Force was another comic book,
right? But the what did they call it? It was
Freedom. I don't know.
The all female team,
Lady Liberties or something. I don't know what the fuck it was. Yeah.
Yeah, the all female team. Yeah.
Yeah. And the She-Hulk and all that shit.
Right. And the She-Hulk was fucking fine too. But I mean, we're going on about it. But I mean, anyway,
these guys are knobs.
These guys didn't know what they were talking about, and it just like
chills.
Yeah,
chill warning.
I mean, the history of Carol Danvers is fascinating, and they just wrote it all off, and
did it a complete injustice.
It was a disservice. Yes.
Tell us what you think. Like, share, and subscribe.